Yup, there's a new trailer. You know where this is going. Welcome back to the Hannahcast YouTube channel, and today we're going to be talking about the final trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's by Blumhouse and co-written by Scott Cawthon. Oh boy. Now look, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I am not excited for this Five Nights at Freddy's movie in the least, like at all. One, it's going to theaters and Peacock, which doesn't make sense because and people are gonna try to say, oh, but COVID. Like, I'm not saying COVID's over, like you should still take it seriously, but it is not a detriment to the box office anymore, at least not anywhere near to the extent that it was just a couple years ago. And the problem with that argument that they're putting it on Peacock because of COVID is that horror is a very, very, very viable genre in theaters right now. I mean, I already talked about the numerous horror films that have come out recently that did bangers at the box office, but just recently Talk to Me came out and it's becoming one of A24's biggest hits. So there's no reason financially to put Five Nights at Freddy's on Peacock unless it sucks. Because I've been saying, like, if you, like, they clearly don't have faith in this movie. If they had faith in this Five Nights at Freddy's movie, they would not put this on Peacock. They would make it a theatrical exclusive. I mean, let's even go beyond just horror. Just look at what happened with Killers of the Flower Moon recently. Like, they were originally gonna do like a limited theatrical release, but now they're scrapping that, and just a couple weeks afterwards are just gonna do like a big traditional theatrical release, a wide theatrical release for Killers of the Flower Moon. So clearly they have faith in this. There's not really an argument to be made against this anymore. The theatrical model is what is best for film. It is what is best financially for film. But if your movie sucks, then people might not want to go see your movie. So they're going to try to put Five Nights at Freddy's on Peacock and theaters to give the illusion like, oh, wow, well, you can watch this in theater or at your home. But in reality, they know they have a stinker on their hands. They know they have a stinker. And I've made no secret about it that these trailers have not impressed me. This film looks like a student film. And people have tried to say, oh, but the budget is like only a few $1,000,000. Like, that, like, what were you expecting? I'm like, that doesn't really hold any water because Get Out had a very small budget and they made that film look incredible. Moonlight had a very small budget and they made that film look incredible, which granted it's not horror, but still, even in terms of blockbusters, there's not really a need to have like $300 million or $250 million budgets anymore, because look at The Creator. The Creator was like made for like 80-something million, and it looks incredible, and the visual effects have a pretty good argument to win the Oscar for visual effects. Now that, Dune has been delayed due to studio corporate greed and that they won't pay their actors and writers fairly. But also, what strikes me as odd about this Five Nights at Freddy's trailer is that, like, there's just some weird things going on in this movie. Like, for example, around the beginning, there's like some teenagers that go into what I'm assuming is the pizzeria, but it's all like old and dusty and stuff, which I don't really know why that's the case. Maybe this is the prologue, but like it's like the prologue, but it's also the epilogue. Like, oh, this is this is where the studio is now, and then the movie flashes back where it's like, this is what it was like years ago. It used to be this big place that everyone loved. But there's like this scene where this fridge is just going nuts. It's like, oh man, something's in the fridge. But then when this person opens it up, nothing's in the fridge, and then behind him, he sees Chica and the cupcake creature starts attacking him, which for one, it doesn't even look good. Like it's so obvious he's holding the cupcake. It's like, like it doesn't look like the cupcake is wriggling or actually causing all this or whatever. It looks like he's holding the cupcake to his face. But also, it's like, what was in the fridge? Like, you can't say that it was the cupcake because the cupcake is the smallest animatronic of the bunch, sure, but if I opened the fridge door and saw a giant robotic cupcake just hop out, I wouldn't, and it's like bright pink in a very dim brown looking room, I would see that. And from the looks of it, it doesn't even look like it hopped out or anything. So it's like, what was in the fridge? It doesn't make any sense. There's also this scene where, like, this one girl is in the pizzeria with their sibling, and then, like, the sibling just runs off, and it's like, where'd they go? They walk into this one room, and they see Freddy Fazbear there, and then they get a chair, try to look in the mouth or whatever, and then a hand pops out. It's like, I know what they're trying to do, because in the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, like, the kids would get stuck inside the animatronics, and like the gears and whatever like mechanical things were in the animatronic would like crush them, and it's like, and it's something like that. But that like that does not, that should not happen in such a small amount of time, or at least even if the kid climbed in there, it doesn't look like the kid would be able to climb in fast enough. But even then, it doesn't look like that the kid could climb in there to begin with. Also, I still have to point this out, the glowing eyes are not scary. That just defeats the purpose of the animatronics to begin with. Like, when you look at the Five Nights at Freddy's games, they were creepy because the eyes didn't emote. They were very bland and very just no life in them whatsoever. Whereas here, they're actually squinting, they're looking around, the eyes are glowing red. It's like, why? This is just overkill. This isn't scary. And then there's one final thing where I'm just like, oh, come on. Where you see Springtrap, which is supposed to be William Afton. Like, Springtrap looks like it's just like freshly out of the factory or whatever. Maybe some minor dust and stuff. But it's like the animatronic itself, like the Springtrap is supposed to be like this, is also supposed to be like a very decayed looking kind of animatronic creature thing. But that's not what we're getting. And look, I'm not even a game purist. I do believe there are adaptations that need to be made when going into a film like this, but it doesn't look good. This still doesn't look good. Again, it looks like a student film, and I don't care how many people hate it when I say this, but it's true. It looks bad. I think this movie looks bad. If you don't think it looks bad, if you are still excited for this movie, great. I wish you the best. But don't complain to me when I'm just giving my opinion on a Five Nights at Freddy's movie that looks bad, and for some reason your 12-year-old brain can't handle the fact that I have a different opinion than you. So, yeah. What are your thoughts on the final trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's? I'm still not excited. I will say this is maybe the best of the trailers, but that's not really a high bar, because the first Five Nights at Freddy's trailer was like one of the worst trailers I've seen in recent years. Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below what you think, and consider hitting that subscribe button, because if you don't, maybe you will get stuck inside an animatronic.